Welcome back to another Welcome Back Comics video. This time, we finally bought a collection. It's a small collection, just 2 boxes, but honestly, it's the first one we've had since COVID, so we're excited to show you some of what we got in it. This will probably be a little bit longer than some of the videos where I just go through a stack of books about Yay High that I bought at a show. There's a few highlights to show you, as well as some, the usual junk that you find in a collection. And let's go ahead and take a look through it. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the boxes that are maybe a little bit less exciting. So this is what's left over the 2 boxes after we pulled out the exciting stuff. So as you can see, I'm just going to flip through quickly. It's a lot of, kind of like 80s filler stuff. There's an almost complete run of Thing. There's a bunch of ROM, of course, minus number 1, naturally. Again, nothing super exciting here, but some good filler books, and especially this 80s stuff, 40-cent covers, things like that. We'll put them out anywhere from our $1 to $3 sections. A couple miniseries, again, some more ROM. So if you're into ROM, let us know. Some pretty forgettable titles like Strike Force Morituri, which, if I recall correctly, might have been sort of Marvel's answers to Suicide Squad. Some Defenders, which we'll get to in a minute. As some folks know, I've been big into Defenders lately, in part because of a great podcast called Defenders Dialogue. So there's some good Defenders books in here. The run of New Defenders when it ended. Bunch of Marvel Comics Presents, pretty chunky run of that, and then of course everybody's favorite, some New Universe stuff. We got Starbrand, we got Justice, we got Spitfire and the Troubleshooters, Night Mask, Cyforce. I actually bought these when I was a kid when they came out, and I'm sort of excited about them. Merc I was not that into, Kickers Inc., and then some classic X-Men. So again, nothing awful here. A couple Power Man Iron Fist in the back. Nothing terrible, and I'm not sure how well you could see those last few. But nothing, super exciting that stands out. Second box, we've got some Secret Wars 2. Again, maybe a complete series pretty close. And then you got some random bronze and silver stuff kind of thrown in here. Got some Battlestar Galactica, some Swamp Thing, old Flash. Again, haven't gone through this super with a fine-tooth comb yet, so there may be a couple things in here I've missed, and we'll get through later. So if there's anything you see in here that you're like, oh, I definitely need that, or oh, you skipped over something real important, feel free to comment in the sections or let us know. And as always, you can contact us at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at Welcome Back Comics. Some What Ifs, Squadron Supreme miniseries, not quite all of it, but pretty close. Again, some kind of cool stuff. Savage She-Hulk number 2. Again, some 12 centers, an old Aquaman, 57. Let's take a look at this earlier. I'm not sure if it's, pull that out, maybe take a look at it later. I don't think it's anything, but who knows. Some Champions. So again, this one's got a little bit more kind of the bronze and even some silver. So a little bit more exciting box over here. Still nothing that totally stands out, but you've got some great run of Fantastic Four. Some cool stuff here. Just, kind of old Bronze Age Fantastic Four. So if anybody's a Fantastic Four fan, there's some great filler in here for them. There's a couple Fantastic Fours that I pulled that I'll show you in just a minute. We've got some older What Ifs, in case you're wondering. No, what if Jane Foster had become Thor, unfortunately. But some good old What Ifs and some more recent ones, again, going back to Fantastic Four. Got some Marvel 2-in-1, some Daredevils. So again, Son of Satan, which is something I'm kind of looking forward to maybe reading. Some more Champions. So again, nothing super spectacular here, but a good solid run. Again, 70s Avengers. This is the stuff I grew up reading, so this is exciting for me to see in a collection. Some more What Ifs, Thors, more What Ifs, Marvel Team-Ups. Big chunk of Power Pack. I'll get to some of that in a minute. Some more Marvel Team-Ups, Micronauts. Again, Marvel Tales. Good, solid stuff for our dollar section. In some cases for our $2, maybe even $3 or $5 section with some of those books. Now, however, the exciting stuff that I know you're going to want to be more interested in seeing is the stuff that we've already pulled out. So we've got a stack here, which I'm going to go through in a minute. So first and foremost, something I don't do often on these videos is the stuff that I pulled that I'm going to keep for myself. I often make reference to them when I go to shows. Usually it's recent books that I'm reading that I picked up for $1. This has just a few things in it that I'm excited about for me personally. Thor with Guardians of the Galaxy, annual number 6. Never read it. I'm going to read it. It's got Korvac stuff in there, and I'm a big fan of the Korvac saga, so I'll probably keep this one for myself. And then some guilty pleasures. I'm a big fan of the old Super Friends series, so I'm happy to kind of hold on to a few of these. I mentioned earlier I'm reading some Defenders, so some of the earlier ones that were in this run I'm keeping for myself. Got 32, 50, 63, 73, and 77. I actually may have some of these already, so I'll have to double check. But always excited to put some Bronze Age Defenders in my collection. And then another guilty pleasure for me, a big chunk of Spidey Super Stories, which I also really enjoy reading. Had a couple when I was a younger kid, and so they've kind of stuck with me as a nostalgia item. So again, this small stack here, some stuff that's likely going to stay in my personal collection. Nothing, again, no major keys or anything like that, but just stuff that I want to keep. Next up is a couple of set completers for us. So Power Pack number 1, I showed you that there was a big run Power Pack. We have a complete run minus number 1, so I was super excited to find number 1 in here. I mentioned Squadron Supreme miniseries. We're working on a set of that, so this helps us complete one of those, in addition to probably starting another one. There's some Who's Who updates from the DC Universe. Some that are complete, some that are close to complete in terms of the updates. Update 87. These are a couple that we need to complete the set that we're working on. Oh, I'm sorry, one that we need to complete the set we're working on. And then also issue that we need to complete the Eternals 80s run. And then some more almost complete set, almost complete set of Update 88, and an almost complete set of the full Who's Who. Ironically, one of the few issues this was missing is also one of the ones we need to complete the set that we're working on. So we're pretty close to getting a couple of Who's Who out to you all at shows soon. And again, those, as well as the official official handbook of the Marvel Universe, are always big fan favorites. So we're always excited whenever we get our hands on those. There's probably a little bit more interest in the Marvel stuff, but the Who's Who in DC is also a good set to put out there. Now we're going to get into some of the stuff that is more in the sort of price range. So again, this might be anywhere from $5 to up. I haven't really priced stuff yet, but there's some exciting stuff in here. So one is the Marvel G.I. Joe number 1 in pretty decent shape. I haven't really checked these out. This has got a little bit of a ding up in the corner here, a little wear there, but otherwise in pretty decent shape. A couple spine ticks. I believe this is the newsstand version. I'll check this out a little bit more in detail, but something exciting to find in a collection. And another chunk of G.I. Joe books. So pretty big chunk, number 2, 3. Unfortunately, no 21 in here. But again, a nice chunk of G.I. Joes, ranging the highest it goes up is to 34. Probably about 20 or so books here. These are things, again, maybe number 2 we'll stick a price tag on. The rest of the G.I. Joes usually we put in a $2 or $3 section, and there's always folks who are looking for those, so we're excited to find them. There's also a really nice chunk of Uncanny X-Men in this collection, so I'll just quickly rip through a few of those, starting with some of the earlier ones, 81, 89, 90. And as most of you know, these are reprints of the earlier X-Men books, but they're still in continuity. Or by in continuity, I mean they're still in the numbering. So even though these were reprints of older X-Men books, they kept them with new numbers on there right before they led up to Giant Size X-Men. Unfortunately, no Giant Size X-Men or X-Men 94, but we start up again at 113. And again, there are some key issues here. I haven't looked through all of them yet to determine exactly which ones are, just good Silver and Bronze Age stuff, and which ones actually have, debuts and whatnot. But again, most of these were probably, they're in pretty decent shape. So we're probably looking at, $10 to $20 and up for most of these. Number 118, a couple that I do know are important. 121, which is the first appearance of Alpha Flight. Unfortunately, this one's got some damage to it, particularly some severe kind of yellowing, browning here, as well as you could see a little kind of chunk taken out there. So not what it would be, some staining here as well. Not what it would be if it was clean, but still kind of a fun book for somebody to fill in their collection. 124. We've got some Dark Phoenix stuff with 125. First appearance of Proteus is somewhere in here as well, 127. 128. So these are great X-Men books anytime you find them in a collection. 129, we've got some Hellfire Club action going on here, if I recall correctly. 130, which is the first appearance of Dazzler, so I know this is a particularly good book that might go for a little bit more. And thankfully this one does not seem to have any major defects. I'll take a closer look later, but it's in pretty nice shape. We got 131. Got this classic cover of 137. So again, some really good X-Men books in here. 139, First Kitty Pryde. 140. We do take a jump past the Days of Future Past, unfortunately, and go to 143. And then some stuff that's a little bit, we get into the realm where it's a little bit less exciting, might be, more in our $5 section or even less. 154. 158 is an early Rogue appearance, so this one's not bad. 159. 161. And then a couple of annuals. So again, a nice chunk of X-Men, and to be honest, for what we paid for this collection, it gets more than paid for just with those books there. A few other things from other books that I'm excited about. They might range from, again, $5 and up. We've got, I mentioned before, there was sort of Bronze Age Fantastic Four run, including 211, which is the first appearance of Terrax. Again, a little bit of a fold here in the cover. It can be folded back over, but most likely it broke the coloring on that, so it can't just be pressed out. But still, otherwise, pretty decent shape book and first appearance, so nice to see that. This book has been picking up some heat lately, given all the stuff that's going on in the Donny Cates run. So we've got the Galactus, the Origin. No exciting issues here, but a couple of the Marvel Star Wars, always nice to have out. Again, like G.I. Joes, we'll probably put those out in a $2 or $3 section. Again, no Punisher #1, but we do have Punisher 2, 4, and 5 from what was the initial miniseries. We've got an early Bullseye appearance with Daredevil 169, early Frank Miller work on the book as well. As I mentioned earlier, there's a couple of, probably not too exciting books, but a couple Silver Age, Tomb of Dracula, and Vault of Evil. Again, might go in a $3 or $5 section. Have to do a little bit more research on those. We get the cameo of the Taskmaster in the back of 195. Unfortunately, no 196. But again, bumps this book up a little bit. Probably one of the more exciting books outside of the Uncanny X-Men stuff is Marvel Team Up 141. As many folks know, this is sort of a tie for the first appearance of the Black Costume. So I think this is, maybe in the $40 range. Again, this one's in pretty good shape. A little ding in this corner here. But otherwise pretty decent shape, especially considering all these books are in bags but not boards. I'm impressed with how well they've held up. And then some stuff here that we're likely going to keep for either sets to build or $5 stuff. So I mentioned that there was an Eternals book that completes a set for us, and he had most of, but not all, of a second of a run of the Eternals. So again, the 80s miniseries with the movie coming out. It's got, it's a little bit more exciting than it otherwise would have been. And we're missing, I think, three or four issues now out of this 12-issue miniseries. So we'll set that aside and try and fill it out as a set over the next, few weeks as we hit shows or find other collections. And then some stuff that we'll throw in our $5 bin. Nothing super exciting. Last issue of Marvel Team Up with the X-Men, I believe it's 150. This is just a personal favorite. I might actually just start collecting multiple copies of this book. Marvel 2 and 175, The Thing and the Avengers. They fight Blastar and Annihilus in the Negative Zone, and features The Thing and some of my favorite sort of lineup with the Avengers playing poker. So I love that issue, and probably for sentimental reasons end up putting it in a $5 section. And then a couple #1s that are not big deals, but Marvel Comics Presents and Classic X-Men, both out in the 80s. They're not high value books, but a little bit more than dollar stock, so we'll throw those in a $5 section. And as you know, if you come to shows, we usually do some sort of buy a certain amount and get a certain amount free in our $5 section. And lastly, for $5 section, Power Man Iron Fist #100, just a nice double-sized anniversary issue. So that's what we got. And again, got it for a decent price, so the X-Men books will more than pay for the collection, allowing us to offer, again, a bunch of them at sort of $1 or lower, and, some exciting things to kind of flesh out. I know we just had our big quick sell sale up at the Berlin Farmers Market this past weekend, and, we sold through a lot of our price books, so it's nice to be able to replenish those with some stuff that might draw on some interest when we do our next show on October 17th. We do hope to see you there if you're in the area. Again, the Berlin Farmers Market, October 17th, we'll be there again. And as always, you can check us out on Facebook. You can email us at welcomebackcomics@gmail.com. We are always buying collections, so if you have stuff you'd like to get rid of, please let us know. And if you see anything in this video that you'd like, send us a message and we'll try and work out a deal with you, even if you can't make it to one of our shows. Thanks again, and we'll see you real soon.